Hi empaths, welcome to Heart Space Wellness Alliance. Here's my healing room. Let's get started. Hi empaths, welcome back to my healing space. We're going to get into another reading, clearing the energy of this space, my aura, your aura, invoking angels, guides, compassionate ancestors, beings of the light that would like to inform this reading, to make it the most concise, informative, helpful, valuable reading with a message that's priority to be heard by the listener at this time. There we go. Good. Let's pull from the original angel cards and see what's priority to focus on. It's the blank card. It's the blank card, so could be about anything. All right. Freeform, great. Let's see. Let's look at let's go to the Louise L. Hay Wisdom Cards. Wisdom Cards by Louise L. Hay. These are nice cards. I usually end the reading with a card like this, but since it's blank, let's just see. The angel cards like pass. Go to another deck. Sure. All right, we'll go to the wisdom cards. The oracle card deck. See what we're looking at. My mental pattern is positive and joyful. Everything in my life, every experience, every relationship is a mirror of the mental pattern that is going on inside of me. And we don't fix the mirror, right? We don't try to fix the mirror. We see where we're accountable, even when it's difficult, and see, why am I responding this way, or why is this showing up in my life, and why is this pattern showing up? It's to help me. It's happening for me. Let's go to the Romance Angel cards. I'm being drawn to those cards. Okay, interesting. Well, they fell out pretty quickly. Pretty quick. So finances and career. Coming up. Financial issues are a factor in your love life right now. And separation. Time apart from your partner is on the horizon, or you're in separation now, possibly to focus on purpose, career, and empowerment in that area, right? Sometimes it's easier to do that in separation, particularly if you're on a spiritual path. Right? Spiritual connections often have times in separation as we heal internally, right? So that we can be accountable for that and then come back together and reunite. And oftentimes that separation also requires healing family issues. Your love life benefits as you forgive your parents. And sometimes our wounding informs what we're attracted to, right? Because when we magnetize a partner, oftentimes that initial chemistry is the wounding dovetailing, it kind of coming together. And then eventually those wounds come to light, and it's like, it's more chaos, and then harmony, right? And so once we're able to heal the core wounding, oftentimes we'll look at relationship to mother to see why the discord in romantic relationship, or why am I attracting this patterning, right? Because mother is our first love. And seeing who we're attracting and the pattern there can help us understand what we're working on, right? That has been very informative for me on my path. Who am I attracting? What magnetizes me to this person? And who are they reminding me of right now? And what am I looking at healing right now? Because I'm committed to healing and growth, oftentimes these romantic partners that come in that are magnetized are triggering my healing in some area, usually my empowerment, my ability to set boundaries, and the temptation to come out of myself to merge with another person and give my happiness, putting my happiness in their hands. I have to put that in check, and I think a lot of us have to do that. But I think that doing the healing work, taking the proper place in the family system, and healing some of those wounds will help us be magnetized by healthier options, right? Healthier people who we have the potential to have a long-term relationship with, if that's what we're seeking. Because romantic feelings is coming up as well. Your feelings are real and worth exploring. So possibly this separation is happening for healing as we both heal. That is typical of the spiritual path, right? Especially in spiritual connection and relationship, we're always accountable for our healing. And we often take time of separation in order to do so and make that priority, as opposed to leaning on the other person. So if this is a highly spiritual connection we're looking at here, finances and career is coming up as well. So it might be a sense that we're having trouble grounding this connection because other things in the material world are taking our focus. And as we kind of master those, we'll feel more empowered and more ready, right? There's an issue of readiness here. Alison Armstrong teaches about the phases of a man's life. She teaches, I think her website's understandingmen.com, and she writes about the phases in a man's life. And there's a book called Keys to the Kingdom, which is a fiction book, but it's based on these phases of a man's life. It's very interesting. And women don't often understand this, right? So we don't understand a man's values and assuming that you're a woman seeking a man. But this can be helpful for men too. Oftentimes, the male or masculine energy, because he has the sense that he needs to provide and protect, right? The feminine, he will prioritize, he, she, they will prioritize making money in order to provide this protection and security. And that journey takes different phases. Some masculines will feel like they want to find their feminine and build together, and others will feel they need to build their kingdom first and then find their feminine, right? And then find their partner. So knowing how they're designed and will be important in knowing possibly the person you're dealing with has the sense that they need to build first before they find partner. Why is this helpful? Then it doesn't become about you not being good enough, right? Then it's just a timing issue. Perhaps this person is just focused on building the kingdom right now, right? And so it's simply timing. And that's why there's this separation. And having faith that people that are meant to be together find their way back. It's, something that really informs that for me is my friendship with my best friend. We had many times of separation, where we grew separately, and that was necessary for our paths. And then we would come back together stronger because there was less dependency. It was more choice, right? It was more freedom. It was less less of the enmeshment, less jealousy, possessiveness on my part, which engaged his fears, so there was less of that each time. And now there's healthy spaces, healthy, times of distance, but we don't need as much, right? We don't need as much space. There's still an ebb and flow, but we've built so much trust that that's not a threat to me and my fear of abandonment. And he knows that I can respond well to his boundaries, and so his fear of engulfment is not as engaged, right? And vice versa. It helped balance me out too, because in most of my relationships, my fear of engulfment gets triggered. It just tends to be certain relationships where fear of abandonment even comes into play for me, because the fear of engulfment is so much stronger for me. Which informs the kind of people that I'm attracted to, right? Generally, if you have a fear of engulfment and that is your primary fear, you attract unavailable people. You're attracted to unavailable people, right? And you wonder, why am I not good enough for any of these people? It's not you, it's just you're attracted to people that are unavailable because you're afraid of getting too involved, right? Emotionally, you're afraid of drowning in other people's wants and needs and agendas, and generally that's involved with enmeshment with a parent. So we look at that, right? We look at that. That's the family issue we look to heal, so that we're not tempted to do that and put our happiness in the hands of a partner, right? And enmesh there. Let's see what archetype wants to come out. And we'll find ourselves in these patterns, right? These mental patterns that lead us to emotional responses. What are you telling yourself? That's why I shared that information. It's like, are you telling yourself that you're just not good enough? Like, I just am not good enough for partnership. No one finds me attractive. That's probably not true. It's probably just that you're magnetizing people who aren't available to give you what you think you want, but what you're not really looking for that intimate of a connection or that committed of a partnership, simply because of this fear that needs to be addressed, right? So that's where we start. That's where we look. So what aspect of ourselves wants to come in and illuminate this idea of mental patternings informing how we're showing up in relationship and who we're attracting? And maybe this particular scenario, if it's speaking to you, of this spiritual connection where there's separation, as we heal family relationships, heal connection to hometown, place of birth, relationship to mother, get our money on point, right? Heal our finances, our connection to money, and our purpose. Are we focusing on our purpose in our career? And that's why this is very interesting. So storyteller is coming up. Wants to shine a light. The light attribute, ability to experience and express life through stories and symbols, which is what we're doing here in this reading. The shadow attribute, making up tales that harm others, right? Telling tall tales, and not for the purpose of teaching and exemplifying a lesson, but do you identify as storyteller? And is that part of your purpose? Is that part of what you're focusing on right now? How do I tell my story? How do I express through public speaking or art or teaching? You know, some of the best teachers are excellent storytellers. The metaphors and way of communicating that helps get the conscious mind and the resistance out of the way so we can hear the important parts of the lesson, right? Engaging us in story helps us integrate lessons on a deeper level because it's engaging different aspects of ourselves. It's also getting, like I said, the resistance out of the way and using symbols and metaphors. We can see ourselves in different characters. We can put ourselves in different experiences without being preached to, right? That's why parable is so powerful. Storyteller. But also, what are you telling yourself here, right? Be careful. Can we use the storyteller to pattern a positive mental story and joyful symbols and beliefs, right? Every experience, every relationship is a mirror of your mental patterning. So we have to look at story. Isn't that interesting that storyteller came out? We have to look at what story we're telling ourselves. Let's go to the original Rider-Waite deck. And see if there's more information here. More information about mental patterns. So the first card is the Sun. That is a very positive sign. It's the most important card because it's the first, and the Sun just shines its light on the whole reading. So that's a very positive sign. And it's also really close to the finances and career card. It came out on tops of that. So we're seeking success here in all areas, right? Connecting to light and maybe seeking connection with yang energy, masculine energy, and possibly using a masculine person to access that through instead of accessing it within ourselves. Doesn't work, right? That is in part creating separation. Temperance is coming out, right? These are major arcana. Temperance, Sun can represent Leo, I believe. And Temperance is Sagittarius. So is there a lot of fire influence in this connection? Are you fire signs? Temperance is about patience, tolerance, having a good attitude, right? Positive attitude. Positive attitude as we wait. But we aren't waiting. We are doing the work, doing the inner work that we need to do, right? And that might be establishing stronger boundaries. So learning boundaries might be part of this. This might also be about having cut someone off, right? Queen of Swords might have not felt this, learning the lesson of temperance, not felt very temperate, and created this separation by cutting someone off. Queen of Swords can also be an air sign, female, Aquarius, Gemini, Libra. So might have cut someone off here, and then Chariot comes in, Cancerian influence, and charged ahead, right? Just forged ahead. But like, fine, I'm just going to go focus on career, right? I'm going to go focus on my independence, and I'm fine. I'm fine by myself. Look, I'm surrounded by material wealth. I have my animal comforts, right? See the little birdie there? I have my beautiful gown. I feel empowered. I'm really fine on my own. I'm independent. And in that state, that positive mental state of, I create my own happiness and fulfillment, that's when true union is possible. And you see the angel that's looking over the union here, that's supposed to be an angel, overlooking this union and the connection therein. These people coming back together in union, reinstating the romantic feelings. So as we heal, part of that healing is going to be, how are we speaking to ourselves? How are we speaking to others? What is the narrative we're telling ourselves? And what is the repeated pattern here? How can we break that pattern? How can we look at that more clearly? Let's go to Animal totem crystal deck. Okay. So this jumped right out. Crow. Crow and Larimar. This is an omen of change. Keeper of law. Cooperation. Learning to cooperate. Keeper of law. It is an omen of change. So if you're in separation right now, know that change is on the horizon, right? The sun will come out, right? Spirit of Crow, help me talk and walk in truth, adapt to changes in my life, and work in cooperation with others. Thank you, Aho. So learning cooperation, our relationship with that comes from our dynamics, our relationship dynamics within our family. So that will affect who we have romantic feelings for and who we're attracted to. If there's separation currently in this union, it might be, or in this connection, rather, if it's not in union, we might need to look at those patternings. Let's look at an essential oil that will give us more information about this connection, about this relationship. About this feeling of success, so that we have room in our life to focus on relationship, right? Oh my God, you're not going to believe this. Juniper berry. Okay, projection, first of all. Projection, okay? Everything in my life, every experience, every relationship is a mirror of the mental pattern that is going on inside of me. Projection. Trigger statement, my mind does not rest. Okay, we're talking about mental patterning here. True statement, I listen to my higher self. Look at each story that repeats itself in your mind as a stranger would. Ask yourself, is this true? That's Byron Katie's work. Is this true? Let's see more information about juniper berry. I mean, can you believe that? Look at each story that repeats itself in your mind as a stranger would. Really? That's crazy. And juniper berry is the oil of night. Okay, I'm reading from Emotions and Essential Oils, a reference guide for emotional healing. So juniper berry assists those who fear the dark or unknown aspects of themselves, helping you understand that those things that you fear are intended to be your teachers. Instead of hiding from what you do not understand, juniper berry encourages individuals to learn the lesson and face their fear. These fears often live within the unexplored areas of the self. Juniper berry acts as a catalyst by helping individuals access and address those fears and issues which have long been avoided. Dreams contain nighttime communications, so it helps with dream work, and even nightmares can reveal unresolved fears and issues. So you might get more information about these things if you intend to before you go to sleep and dream about it. That will be a helpful tool, right? Positive properties of juniper berry: protection, peaceful dreaming, courageous, and self-aware. Self-awareness is going to be important on this journey. Knowing how you speak to yourself and being accountable for that will be very important. Let's go to the Crazy Sexy Love Notes card, end this reading with one final message of inspiration, beautiful artwork. To wrap this up, what's one final message? No, I don't think that's it. That doesn't feel right. One final message. To wrap up this reading. Is this the right deck? Be gentle with yourself. Be gentle with yourself. Take your foot off the gas and don't push yourself so hard. If you need to rest, then take a break. The world won't fall apart if you nap. Renew, dear one. You are a treasure. Be gentle with yourself. Isn't that beautiful? Self-talk is important here. Be gentle with yourself. What stories are you telling yourself? How are they informing, your emotional state and mental patterns? Let's create new, healthy, positive, joyful mental patterns that promote romantic feelings. For union, right? Look at each story and ask yourself, is this true? Byron Katie's work, look into Byron Katie, right? The sun of success is showing up in the reading. We're looking forward to that, right? But be gentle with yourself. Put yourself in charge of your own happiness, right? So that when this time of separation comes to an end, this destined union will have a chance of being long-lasting, right, and sustaining. Okay? Be gentle with yourself. Okay? I hope this was helpful and resonant. If it wasn't for you and didn't resonate, maybe this is a message for somebody you know. Please do share with them. If you want to reach out for a personal reading or another session, look in the description for more information. Also, other social media platforms to connect with me. Thank you so much for spending this time with me, and many blessings to you. I'll see you in the next reading.